All right, let's get started. Let me bring myself in here. This is Linda Bartolucci with Ink Stamp and Scrap. Thanks so much for joining me today. Let me see if I can. There we go. Voila. All right. Thanks so much for joining me today. Really appreciate you guys being here. This is my weekly, quote unquote, right now, um, YouTube Live. I know it's been a few weeks, but we had some illnesses and issues in the house, and it wasn't possible for me to go live or do any videoing actually for the last few weeks. But I am back, and thankfully, we are just barely on the edge of the holiday season. So I know that I will be able to provide you with lots and lots of ideas. Today, in particular, we're going to talk about creative ideas that you can quickly make for Halloween. I know some of you have kids back in the classroom and you're looking for ideas. Some of you are going to not do door to door, but you might do that truck or treat kind of thing at a local parking lot somewhere. You've got teacher gifts to make, you've got handmade cards to send, and you've got all the other holidays to take care of. So we want to bang out Halloween quickly and easily, and that's what I'm going to try and help you with today. Just a couple of notes. I am about to do a drawing. It was my birthday last week. Thank you so much for all the love. I appreciate the handmade cards and the emails and the texts and everything that I received. You guys are the best. So you really brightened my spirits at a time that I needed it. So thank you so much. I did offer an ordering special, and part of the ordering special was tickets into a drawing for um, a mini die cut machine from Stampin' Up. So we are going to get to that in just a moment. I'm just going to double check here. Yep, looks like mid-Florida is in for some rain, but we are actually headed out of the area starting tomorrow morning for a long weekend, a much needed restful long weekend. And then I will be back next week, and I will be live on next Tuesday, and I do believe the following Tuesday. So I'll keep you up to date. We have a little bit of traveling to do in October, had to juggle around a few things, but we'll make sure that once I get back from this trip, I schedule everything out so you can see what YouTube lives are coming up, and I will also start recording more videos again and getting back onto my normal schedule. So without further ado, let's turn the camera down so you guys can see what's going on today. So let's do this. There we go. And all right. So the camera's down now. The Little Delight stamp set from the holiday catalog is the one that I purchased that had any new Halloween stuff. And so that's why I keep going back to this. If you remember when we were together 3 weeks ago, we made a cute stationery box that you could use for any kind of hostess gift or even teacher gifts. And then we made five fun cards using the current in colors and all the greetings from that particular stamp set and layered them in different ways. You can find the blog post for this as well as dimensions and everything on my website. I will also post today's dimensions as soon as this live is over. Hello to everyone who's saying hello. Really appreciate it. And I am thankful that you guys are on time. It does make things go much better. This is the first project that we're going to do today, and we have two others to do as well. Let me show you real quick. We're also going to do a candy bar slider, and we're going to make a quick and easy Halloween card that you could send to anyone. So those three are what's on deck. But as I said, I did have a birthday promotion, and I want to find out who the winner is. So I put all the drawings or entries in here. Let's mix them up a little bit, and let's see live who the winner is. Drum roll, please. The winner is Jenny Vitale. Congratulations, Jenny. I will put that mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine in the mail to you. Actually, I will send it UPS probably when I get back because we're getting a 4:30 a.m. pickup tomorrow. So I don't think I'll get it out before I leave, but it will go out on Monday. Congratulations. Thanks, Kathy. I really appreciate the love. All right. So let's get to creating. This is the first thing that we're going to create. And all of this is Stampin' Up stuff, but I bet you won't find a box this size in the catalog, and I will show you why. So what you will find is the same thing that we used. I think I hit it up here on myself. Yes, I did. Um, the same thing that we used 3 weeks ago. You will find that I love these acetate boxes that you can fit A4 size cards in, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 cards. It fits perfect. It fits 5 cards and 5 envelopes without any trouble at all. So it makes a lovely gift. That's what we did 3 weeks ago. Now let's talk about today. What I did to make this box is I cut this in half. I would not recommend using your Stampin' Up! Trimmer for this or any kind of trimmer that just has the slider blades. If you are not familiar with what I'm talking about, let me bring my trimmer in real quick and show you. Any kind of a trimmer that just has these very small blades like this one does, whether it's a Stampin' Up! Or Fiskars or any other, Tim Holtz, any other, I don't actually think Tim makes this size, but anyway, anything like that. You could use a guillotine um, cutter trimmer. You could also use an industrial size one, or you could just take a craft knife, measure halfway. It's 4 inches. The nice thing about this box is when you lay it out and don't change, like don't fold anything. So these two tabs are still out. This is 8 inches. So you could just measure 4 inches and use your craft knife and a ruler and make a line down the middle and then use scissors and cut it right up the middle. And you could definitely do that as long as your edges are not sharp, even if they're not perfect, because the way that we're going to package this up, it's all going to be covered. So no one's going to notice if the top of the box is just a little bit off. All right, something dropped. Aha. Okay, I need those for another project, so I want to make sure I found them. Okay, so I've already taken the step of cutting this in half. I have an industrial cutter, so that's what I use when I'm mass producing cards for classes or anything else, and that's what I use to cut this in half. And now we're going to use all these fun things to create this card. So let me go through with you what I have. And let me also share, where is it? Need to have space for that. Okay. That today, all the projects, as I already showed you, are going to use up this fun Halloween designer series paper. I have a lot of it left, so I have a lot of Halloween projects to create when I get back from our trip. But the nice thing about it is if I don't quite finish, there's the ones that I will not worry about are like the squiggles page, the black page, the stripes, there's polka dots, there's this cute little dot, and even this stripe. No one would ever know this came out of a Halloween packet unless I made it a Halloween themed project. So there are a lot of things I can use post Halloween from this designer series paper package. This is called Cute Halloween, and it does start out as a 6x6 package of paper. But what I did is I took a 6x6 sheet of paper and I cut it at 4 inches, and then I cut, or sorry, 4.5 inches, and then I trimmed off just a 16th of an inch. So that gave me this because the box is 4.5 right here. And, but it's not a true 4.5. It's a little bit less than 4.5. So that's why I had to trim off just a 16th of an inch on each side. Then I cut them 3 inches tall, and that's what's going to fit in there just perfectly. I'm trying not to like have you have glare. I'm just going to set that aside so you don't. And then the top is again a 4.5. I didn't trim off the little 16th of an inch because I didn't care if it hung over just a tiny bit. It was just easier. So this is 4.5 by 2 3/4. And then I scored it at 1 and then 1 3/4. Let me bring that up to the, I'm trying to get maybe down here in the light. There we go. You can there you go. There you can see the scoring. So you end up with 1 inch on this side, 1 inch on this side, and then you have 3/4 of an inch across the top, and that makes a nice covering for it. Then we have our belly band, which is 7 3/4, and then I scored it at just about 3/8. A 1/4 inch is how wide tear and tape is. That's what I'm going to use to secure this. So I wanted just a little bit extra to be able to put this around. And then I trimmed out one of my tailored tags. This is the second to smallest tailored tag, and we're going to decorate that to put it on the front of this. All right, so let's get going and create this. And then we'll move on to project number 2. All right, so one end or one side of the topper, I am going to corner round, and I'm going to use, I'm trying all 3. I'm going to use the trio punch, sorry. So it punches 3 different shapes in one. I love this punch. The only thing I don't love about it is it doesn't fit in any of my holders well. So it just has its own little space on a shelf. All right, so there's that. Now this is rounded, so I'm good with that. I'm gonna go ahead and stamp my tag as well. I need a Stampin' mat for that. So I'm gonna grab this, and then we are going to use pumpkin pie and Memento Tuxedo Black. So for the Ghoulish Delights, I'm just going to use the dots of the tag to just line this up so that it's straight. Hold it for a mental count of 5. There we go. And I'm going to set that aside, and I don't need that. And then I'm going to get my black ink pad out, and I'm going to ink up the bats. And they've got some stars, which is fun. Make sure I have them right side up. And then we're just going to kind of tuck them in the corner. I am going to go over the stitched edge just a little bit, just so I have enough room to put, from Linda, or you can put from whoever if you copy this. Oh, gee, that kind of fell. Okay, put that there. All right, so our tag is started. What we need now is our ribbon, which I know I brought over. I thought I brought it over. Oh, nope. I have my twine, but I don't have, well, that is weird. All right, well, I'm going to keep going. I'll grab the ribbon in a second. I don't want you to pause for too long. So let's get the box going, and then I will find my ribbon to finish the tag because I need that ribbon for other things too. All right, so the way the box goes together, if you recall from our last time together, I just fold back and forth on all the edges, and then I just tuck this in. I am not going to, I'm not gonna worry about sealing it perfectly like I did with the cards. You could put some tear and tape right here just to make sure that it doesn't come open. But I gotta tell you, it does stick together really well. I mean, it's acetate. It's not flimsy at all. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. And then what happens is you take your designer series paper and you slide it in. So this is the front, and then you slide the back in. This is what I mean. You could sit down, and in the time it takes you to watch one TV show, you could get a bunch of these done. You just want to make sure that this goes on the inside of the flap. And then I'm going to put some candy inside. And you could do lots of things. Twix stack great in here. 2 Reese's cups fit fine. Any of the mini candies, as long as they're not the really thick ones, will fit great. You just need to find flat things. I bet a bag of candy corn, a small bag of M&Ms, those will fit as well. I know I've done that in the past. So there is the basics for this. And if you don't want to use tear and tape to keep this closed, and you don't like that it's kind of shifting a little bit like this one is, I would just put a little piece of Scotch tape here and not mess with the tear and tape and everything. But let's get to putting that top on. And then after that, I definitely have to find my ribbon. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our tear and tape. There we go. And on the not rounded side, we're going to put 2 strips of tear and tape right here. So I'm just going to line this up to the right of the score line because I don't want to be on it. And I'm going to put 1 pretty close to the edge of the top, and then, like I said, one really close to the score line, because I don't want this to come off, and I hope that they're opening and closing it a few times. All right, and then I'm going to use my take your pick tool because it's got the nice piercing side to it. I'm going to go ahead and take both of these off. A glue dot might hold it. Yeah, a glue dot would hold it too. Anything really, any kind of strong adhesive will hold it. The thing you got to be careful with the glue dot is you don't want it to curl up in any way. It needs to stay flat. Of course, this is fighting me today. There we go. Okay, 1, 2. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this on to the back side. Wish I had, oh, I do. Ha, look at that. I have some clear tape because it's just driving me nuts that it keeps doing this. I'm just going to put a little bit there and then fold it up. Oh, you didn't see that. Sorry. There's just a little piece of clear tape. You can't, there, I think you can catch it in the light like that, maybe. Anyway, it's just barely there, but you can see the seam. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my, I'm actually going to fold this back so I can make sure, I want you to be able to see on camera, and I also have to make sure I line it up okay. So I want to make sure that this score line is at the top of the box and that this piece covers the back completely. So I want this to come down just a little bit. Okay, there we go. That's what I want. And now we have a cute cover too. And now we have like a much nicer looking box. Now, you could stop here, not do the belly band, and put Velcro or magnets here and here in order to do the closure and just stop right there. That would be really cute as well. So there's points where you can dip out of this project and still have a really cute something or other to hand to people. Lay the tape down and get an acrylic block. Oh yeah, to tear it away. Yes, that does make sense. You can also just use a ruler. You can use, a lot of times I will just use a planner page finder. Works really well because they're small and they're strong. So yes, you're right, Sue. There's lots of things you can use to tear the tear and tape easier than your fingers. Thanks for the tip. All right. So what I'm going to do now is put this right here in that little score space. You can also use a die. Anything strong and straight you can use to pull this back. Just like that. That's what Sue's tip was about. All right. And then I'm going to pull this off. Okay, so now we're going to put our belly band around here. And the way I like to do the belly band, I don't want it to stick to this, obviously, but I do need to get it in the right spot. So what I do is on the front, because I just find it easier. We're not going to leave it that way, trust me, but I'm just going to put it on the front for now. So I line up the score line with this, with the bottom of the box, because I haven't scored the rest of my belly band. I don't want to because every box is just slightly different, and you want to, it's kind of a feel to make sure the belly band is correct. So now I'm going to wrap the belly band around, and I'm going to bring it under the piece that's scored, and now I'm going to fold it down, and that's going to give me my finished band. Now, some people don't mind it like that. Some people would rather have this be the front. It's totally up to you which way. I'm just going to leave it like this. I'm good with it like that. But if you want to, you can slip it off, flip it around, and then you have it the other way. And if you're not sure what I mean, you can slip it off, turn it around this way, and then your belly band seam is going the other way. It's kind of a pain, but it does work. And now we've proven that the belly band will come on and off. All right, so now all I have to do is just attach my cute tag that's not totally cute because it doesn't have where did my ribbon go? All right. I'm going to find that real quick. So while I'm finding it, I'll make a shameless plug for you guys to like and subscribe to my channel and make sure you ring the notification bell so that you know whenever I go live. Please be sure to also do that if you are on Team Replay. And if you're on Team Replay, leave a comment below. Love to hear what you think about these projects. I noticed that Jenny has joined us. Does Jenny know that she's the winner of the mini Stampin' and Cut and Emboss machine? Let me know, Jenny. Okay, I literally have no clue where that um, ribbon went. So we're going to switch to white because it's got the glitter and I'll probably find it right after I finish the video. But I have looked everywhere. I don't see it on the ground. It didn't fall in the trash. So I give up. All right, we're going to use the white. Here we go. So to finish off the tag, just to make it look a little bit nicer, I'm going to take my ribbon cutting scissors and just take a little bit of this. I'm going to slide it through. This is the larger of the two tags that we're going to work with today. So for this one, I'm just going to slide it through. I'm going to use my take your pick tool to kind of shove it in there just to give me a little more to grab. This is the white glitter ribbon that you can find in the holiday catalog. The thing that's wonderful about this is you can use your Stampin' Blends on the non-glitter side. One side has glitter, one side is flat to color the ribbon. Sorry, I'm a little bit way woohoo. Okay, Jenny just figured it out. She heard what I said. Yes, I drew your name live, Jenny. Everybody saw it. That is not going to work. It needs to be bigger. Wait, maybe I'll do, okay, I know what I'll do. I'll do this. We'll do a luggage feed because I really don't want to waste this ribbon because I just love it. All right, so I'm going to just push this through. So now I folded the ribbon in half and I'm pushing it through the back to get that loop in there. And now I have the loop and I'm going to feed the ends through the loop. Still a really small piece of ribbon to deal with, but this will get me a knot without sacrificing this 6-inch piece of ribbon that I just don't want to sacrifice. And I know lots of you can relate to this because you tell me all the time that you keep all your scraps because you never know when you're going to need them. All right, there we go. Okay, I don't want to yank too hard because that will rip through the tag, but now we have this cute, there we go, this cute little tag to go on our box of candy. I am going to add a couple of dimensionals to the middle of the tag, and then that will make them set right on the belly band. So then this still slides off. That's the other thing. Make sure you don't glue your tag in a way that you can't move the belly band. So everything resides on the belly band except for the black topper, which resides on the box. All right, there we go. Project 1. So you can use this for, like we said, bags of M&Ms, smaller things like that. I have 2 Reese's in there. I've done the Twix bars, anything flat-ish and, you know, candy bag size. All right, so that is project number 1. There was the original. There is today's. Let's do the candy bar. Now, I have to tell you, I am not a fan of Reese's. So I have no problem with the fact that I have an abundance of Reese's. I just bought a big sleeve and I don't care. I'm not going to eat them. However, Milky Way is one of my favorites. So, oh, that's a great idea, Nancy. I love that. So I'm going to reuse the original Milky Way and show you how I made this cover for it. Because if I had 2 or 3 Milky Ways, my waistline will also end up with 2 or 3 Milky Ways over the course of the next few weeks. And we don't want that to happen. So let me show you how I made that. And the reason I'm going to make it from scratch is mostly, I promise it's not because I didn't have time to get things ready for you. It's because I want you to see that you really do need to make at least one to get a feel for what your measurements are going to be for whatever candy you get. If this was a full-size Hershey bar, which is super flat and bigger, my dimensions would be very different. But I can tell you that up to and including those full-size Hershey bars, you can do just what we're going to do right now. So I am going to, let's see, let's do, this is the card. I did that guy. I don't think we could do the houses, but I didn't grab the right colors for that. Oh, let's do the cute polka dots. I like those. All right, we're going to do the polka dots. Okay, so I'm going to use the polka dots. What's on the other side? Oh, the candies. Okay, so the reason that I want to show this to you is, like I said, so you know how long what or how you need to do this. So my suggestion is that you measure where you want to cover the candy. I know this is 4 inches because I already did one. So now I'm going to take my 6x6 piece of designer series paper and I'm going to cut it down to 4x6. And I'm not going to cut any more than that. We'll do the second measurement and I'll show you a really cool trick to make sure you get the second measurement correct. So we're going to cut this at 4 inches. There we go. Okay, now we have a 4x6 sheet of designer series paper. I am going to grab some white twine, and this is my trick. I'm going to hold the twine here. I'm going to wrap it around. Now, the twine is this long. If I put that on my trimmer, it's right there, and I run it across. Okay, so it's shy of 4 inches, but that was tight and it's twine. So I want to make it a little bit bigger. Oh, Kathy, great. I'm glad to hear you like the Reese's. You can compete with my daughter. She likes them too. Um, so it's a little bit shy of 4 inches. So I'm going to go like four and maybe 4 1/8 just to give it a good amount of wiggle room. So 4-ish is what I'm going to do. So you instead of wasting paper to figure out what the next dimension is, just grab some scrap string and use that instead. All right, so 4 and a little ish, just to make sure I've got enough, is what I'm going to use. And let's see how well I did. We're going to do the tear and tape again because all of this needs to be held together really well. So I'm going to put tear and tape on this side right here. And I will grab my die to trim that off. Love that trick. I use it all the time with washi tape, Sue. I just really didn't think about the tear and tape because it's not washi tape. It doesn't fall into the washi tape compartment in my brain. All right. So now what I'm going to do, you want to make sure, just like before, that you have plenty of designer series paper around your candy bar so that you don't see the seam, at least from the front or the sides. And then I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to take the non-adhesive end and fold it in about to the middle. And then I'm going to take my end with adhesive. I'm not squeezing this tight. That's why it's kind of slipping around, because I don't want to squeeze this tight and smash my delicious Milky Way candy bar. All right, and there we go. And because the tear and tape is so sticky, that's all it takes and you're good to go. So see how well our little string measurement worked? All right, let's decorate this guy. Ay, 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 ay. Where did he go? I have a feeling that the paper, aha, there we go. Nope, that's not it. I had everything here. In fact, I showed you the belly band. So where the heck did that go? Because I said it was, oh, that was that belly band. All right. I had 2 tags. Well, it's just one of those days. 3 weeks off and I just fall apart. All right. I'm not sure where the tag went. It's with the ribbon, I'm sure. If you look at the blog post, it's going to go up in like an hour. I'll let y'all know where everything disappeared to, because I'm sure it's all together around here. But anyway, I cut the smallest tag and I stamped the Ghoulish Delights in pumpkin pie designer or pumpkin pie ink. And then for this, I pulled the ribbon through and just tied a little bit of baker's twine around it to keep it stuck. So that is how you do the candy bar. So disappointed I can't find that tag. All right, but moving on. Let's make this fun card. And if I were you, you might want to make sure, yeah, goblins took them. That's it. If the candy was missing, I would accuse Bruce, but since it's not the candy that's missing, I really can't do that because he has no interest in tags and ribbon. This layout that I'm going to do right here is not a Halloween card layout. It is an any card layout. So you would definitely want to keep the download that you'll get in my blog post and use the dimensions that I have here to just use up any scraps of designer series paper. If you have a big scrap and a small scrap, this is going to work perfect. So let's get to it. I have an 11 by 4 1/4 piece of basic white cardstock that I scored at 5 1/2, and I'm going to fold it in half. I'm going to set it aside. I'm actually going to use my bone folder and get a little bit of a crisper fold there. There we go. Okay. And then for the front of the card, I am going to use a 1 by 6 piece of designer series paper. And the reason that I'm using that is because I want to make sure that it goes to the end perfectly. So I'm just going to glue it down here. Then I'm going to take my, this is the trick when you have designer series paper, my 3 by 4 1/4 piece of designer series paper. Yes, 4 1/4 it leaves you a little odd piece at the bottom, but it's a good size odd piece at the bottom. Let me show you on this pattern. Look at how much is left at the bottom here. That's a lot, but you are using a perfect half piece up here. So you can get 2 of these out of 1 sheet of cardstock. And depending on your pattern, you can get the side, you can get 2 of that side from down here. So it really is a great use of paper. It just takes a 6 by 6 sheet and you can get 2 of these. So we're going to mat this here, then we're going to trim that, layer this on, stamp our greeting, and we're good to go. Add a little bit of black matte dots because I love them and they are perfect for Halloween, and we will be good to go. So let's stamp our trick or treat, which is also from the Little Delights stamp set. I'm going to stamp that in black this time. Let me clean this off real quick since I know I used pumpkin pie the first time. So I'm just using my Simply Chamois and just wiping off the orange ink. And then I can switch to black. And I have my trick or treat. And I'm just lining it up in the center and making sure it's straight. Remember with basic white cardstock, you get 2 chances, front and back. Yep, there we go. I'm happy with that. So now let's take our Tombow glue and get this card together. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and get the greeting layered together. We're going to add some dimensionals to this card this time. The original one doesn't have any, but let's add some just to give it a little more interest. So I'm going to let that set up, and we'll put some dimensionals there. And I'll probably add some dimensionals here too. And we're going to mat this, like I said, on black this time, just to show you something different. Here we go. Thanks, Jenny. Yeah, I just like this layout. I mean, and you can do a lot of things with it. You don't have to have a border. You could just put this in the center and it makes a really cool card. And then you could put a greeting right there. There's a lot of things you can do, but the key, if you're going to use designer series paper, is that it's 3 by 4 1/4. That's the cut. I do like the border, but like I said, if you are just using scraps and you don't have it, that works too. So the way I glue this down is I get about to the bottom and then I put a little bit of glue right there so that I can take this and line it up at the top. I don't have any glue necessarily at the very bottom of the designer series paper, so it's not going to get on my mat. but I do have it at the bottom of the card so that this piece of designer series paper will stay on there. And then what I can do is take my paper scissors, my snips. I can flip this over. I didn't do the greatest job scoring this, but that's okay. You can see the gap there. And that's the other reason that I like to leave this a 6-inch piece of paper, because then if I'm off by a smidge, I'm not when the card is totally finished. All right, let's add some dimensionals to this. Here we go. 1, 2, definitely need 4, but I think we need more than that. Yeah. We don't want that to get smashed in the mail. This one we can just do 5 on it and we'll be fine. This is why I love that they give you so many dimensionals in any one given package. And if you're interested in the supplies that I'm using, they will be listed in the video below about an hour after the video is complete. And they are also clickable links in the blog post that is listed at the top of the description. All right. So what is coming up? Make sure there is a link below this video that you are on my email list, because the 12 weeks of Christmas is starting very soon. It actually starts next Friday, and that is my gift to my email subscribers. So if you are on my email list for the 12 weeks of Christmas, the 12 Fridays leading up to Christmas, you will get a tutorial every single Friday that's holiday themed. Sometimes it's a project a gift you can give. Sometimes it's cards. Typically, if the card lends itself to mass producing, I will give you tips and tricks on what order I would do the steps for mass producing, just to help you out. Those are actually the kind of tutorials that usually kick off the 12 weeks, and then we move on to gifts and packaging. And there we go. So this is a flatter version of the card. Oh, I didn't do the dots yet, and that's a more popped up with the dimensionals. Let's add a few dots, and let's do big ones this time, because I used small ones on the other one. So make sure that you're on my email list. Like I said, there is a link below the video, and you can always go on to my website, inkstampindscrap.com, and sign up anytime. I'm going to put that one right there. Look at that. Okay. So there are our 2 cards. We're only going to bring in, I'm just going to bring back the candy wrapper that is complete. There we go. And then this is our Reese's one. Move these guys over, get that in there for you. All right. So those are the projects that we completed today. Thank you so much for watching. Let me double check. Yep, it would make a lovely Christmas card. You could definitely use that pattern for Christmas. And the Trim a Tree, I think, is the name of it, or Trimmings for Christmas. Anyway, that is the name of the designer series paper that's in the annual catalog that is already 6x6. So it would make it really easy to use. And it's got a lot of the greens and blues and reds. So I think you would really like that. Let me bring myself back to close this out and say goodbye to you guys. Thank you so much for watching today. And if you are not subscribed to my channel yet, please subscribe. Make sure you ring the notification bell, and that way you will know every time I post a video. If you could please give this video a thumbs up, that does feed the algorithm and tends to get my video in front of more eyeballs. I really appreciate that. I will be back next week to share more creative projects with you, Tuesday at 2 p.m. Central Time, right here. Have a crafty week, and let me know what you're making, because I love to hear what you're up to. Take care. Bye-bye.